Hey guys, today I am excited to share with you full flip through of my 2023 reading journal. It got quite chunky, the elastic barely holds it together, but it is kind of satisfying when my journals get this thick. I just finished my end of year reading stats literally just now, and I am super excited to share all of these spreads with you now. This is a Reverie journal by Mellow Days, and I love their journals so much because the paper is super thick and you can paint in them even with watercolor. So let's open it up. This is how it looks without elastic. It is chunky boy. I decided to add rating system into my reading journal after I've been using it for a while and there was no other place to put it in, so there it is. Here is the cover page for the reading journal. I know I spent so much time on this one and I had no idea what I was doing, but I think it turned out okay, and there is a video down below if you want to see how this came alive. This is the index where I have listed all the pages in the reading journal and I have not used it once. So I do not have index page in my 2024 reading journal. Here we have 2023 reading tracker, and my reading goal was 59 books only because I could put 59 squares in here. And that's it, that was my big decision. I have read 93 books, so I exceeded all my expectations and I was able to fill in every single box on this spread, and I love how it looks. It is so satisfying to see it all filled in. Here we have TBR reading recommendations. This is the list of books I found interesting when other people on YouTube were talking about them, so I started to make a list here, but shortly I moved to Notion because this would just be too long. Here we have the books I owned at the beginning of the year, and I cross them out as I go through them, and I do hope I will go through majority of these in 2024. Now, book bingo, as you can see, I did pretty well. I did not fill in only self-help book, so that is, I'm not sure why I put this here because I had no intention in reading self-help books, so that's that. A to Z reading challenge. I have almost everything filled in. Of course, there are letters that are quite difficult to fill in, and as I did not spend any thought on this challenge during the year, this is just how it turned out without any effort on my part, and I am quite okay with how this turned out. Okay, here we have... Okay, it seems what I did forget what was supposed to be here. Oh, I think all the covers of books I read in 2023. Okay, hold on guys. Here we are. Okay, this took forever and I have glue gang all over my fingers, but we will deal with that later. So, as you can see, I did not plan it at all, and the pages look weird, and I am okay with that. I have read lots of books with dark colors, it seems, and I am completely okay with that. There are lots of blacks, dark greens, blues, and reds. That is fine. I should do, you know what I should do? I should do book cover chart for my 2024 reading stats. I think that would be great. Okay, moving on, we are going into individual book entries. So guys, this was my first reading journal and I had no idea what I was doing, and I did not read much at the beginning of the year, so I only did spreads for the books as I read them without any organization or any statistics. So the first duology I finished was Križiaci or Crusaders, and I think it turned out okay. Then there is Pride and Prejudice. I love how this turned out. Then I read Confession of Fitzwilliam Darcy. That is Pride and Prejudice from Mr. Darcy's perspective, and I was so over that book that I did not even take time to finish this spread. Now we have Dress of Emerald Sea. I love this book and the illustrations are so cute. These books I did not enjoy as much. Typically I did full page or even full spread for my favorite books, and then entries got smaller and smaller for the books I did not enjoy as much. But I sometimes like to write about the books I did not like, so those entries are bigger as well. Here is my favorite spread of this journal. The only sad part about this one is that I do not have video for it. I filmed every other one, but not this one. I love Mistborn trilogy and I really tried to do the dark atmosphere in here and I really love how it looks. So let's go back into frame, and I think we are already in March. Yeah, 20th of March. So as you can see, I had no structure in my reading journal. But in April, I took part in the Realm of the Readathon and I decided to do a cover page for every single book I finish. And I made my first ever statistic spread, and I have to say I love this color combination. I need to remember to go back to that. So these are statistics, and here we go into short entry for every single book I finished. Sometimes I like to add quotes from the book and I should do that more. Nettle and Bone I absolutely loved. Legends and Lattes I did not like as much. Timble is the cutest character ever. Here is my spread for Six of Crows duology. I love how it turned out. Some shorter entries. And spread for Babel, I again went for this dark theme and I really love how it turned out as well. Now I believe, yes, we are in May and I took part in another readathon. It was Escape the Readathon. I was team Ghost Tour and I finished 10 books. So again, cover pages, statistics going with the theme. I really love this. And here we have entries for every single book. Reverie is art book by Sibylline Maynett and I love her art style. King of Scars by Lee Bardugo. It is one of my least favorite series from her. Seventh Bride by T. Kingfisher, again not my favorite. Vicious was okay. This is the month I started Murderbot Diaries. I liked the first book enough, but the rest of them not that much. And I also started the second Mistborn series, and I really liked it. June. Okay, June is the month I decided to do a dedicated cover page for the month. To be honest, up until here, I felt like monthly setups were unnecessary. But as the year went by and as I read more and more books, I realized that I want to do them as well. So that's that. Statistics. I tried so hard to make this color scheme look like the Way of Kings, but I was not entirely successful. I'm not sure why, but it does not scream the Way of Kings at all. But it's fun and colorful, so I'm okay with that. The Sword of Kaigen is one of my favorite books of 2023, so I did a full spread for this one. The Way of Kings also my favorite, but I experimented with this page and it did not turn out good. So let's just flip over. The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi was a buddy read with my friends. Red Rising I did not like as much. Shocking, I know. I did a full page for Fourth Wing. I know it is terribly written, but I had a great time with that one. And here is full spread for another one of my favorites, It is fanfiction manacled by Celine Liu, and it is absolutely amazing. And all these pictures are in the fanfiction and they are made by Evendel. They are absolutely stunning. If you want to read this one, don't look too closely because you might get spoiled. I added lots of quotes in here. And we are in July. I went for more muted colors here and I really like that. So again, cover pages, statistics. I love the pop of red in here. New favorite book, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I loved it so much. Yumi and the Nightmare Painter as well, absolutely amazing. And the art by Alia Chen made reading this book an experience. More Sanderson here. As you can see, I read a lot of Sanderson. I read everything cosmic related, I think. So there will be a lot of Brandon Sanderson. Motherboard Diaries, third book. And I think I hated this one. Yes, because all I could hear was narrator swallowing every few seconds and his chair squeaking and that. Nope. Now we have Poppy War and Red Sister. I just finished this series and I loved it so much. And I have to say the first book was my least favorite from the series. Now we are in August and I love how I did these stats here. This reading statistics spread is all over the place, but I love it so much. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea is my favorite young adult book of the year, and I finally, after months of not painting, I busted out my acrylic gouache and I painted this one and I had a really great time. These are the first and the only arcs I got in 2023. More Sanderson. As you can see, I was reading both the Stormlight Archive series and Mistborn second series together, and I had a great time. I tried to do the abstract space theme and I think it is fine, it is colorful, and maybe if this was not here, this would look much better. But I like it, I think I like it. Now, so I was left with one page, and up until now I always had this cover for the whole month and cover pages for the books I finished, and suddenly I could not do that this month, so I am very proud of myself that I came up with this, and this shorter page reveals all the books and manga I have read during September and some statistics, some more statistics, dedicated page for the Spy Family since I read 6 volumes. The Witches of Alien N was buddy read with my friends, it was okay. Our Wives Under the Sea I did not like at all. If We Were Villains, one of, again, my favorites. The Lost Metal I loved as well, as you can see from the rating. Dawn Shard, again, I loved. I had a great September, guys. Except this one. I loved every single book I have read. And I have read lots of Sanderson again. These are just the short stories, so it was not that much. Journey Before Destination, you bastard. Okay, I can vividly see the scene when this happened. I should really add more quotes in my reading journals because it is fun. October, I love this page. I used watercolors and recreated the Study in Drowning cover page, the other one, and I really love how this turned out, especially the water in here, and the white pencil was just the afterthought and it is the best part of this painting. I am really happy with that. I really like this dark mood in here. This is another example of me ranting about the book I did not like. I had so much to say. So that's that. And on the other page, this is the book I absolutely loved and I can't wait to continue with the series. And I love how these are next to each other. Okay, and it continues. I had clearly a lot to say about that one. Some Neil Gaiman in here and the fourth Secret Project. Study in Drowning was really atmospheric read, and Frankenstein is written so beautifully, but sadly it's so boring. Slow Food I liked enough, I guess. When you open the book, there are these beautiful pages. So I copied them and glued them in here, as well as this. This is also a picture from the book. November. I love how moody this is. I read only 4 books in November, but that is completely okay. We are continuing with this brownie moody theme. Okay, and I put all the books in one spread. I did not have great reading month, I should say, but not every month can be great, right? Okay, now we move into December already, and these spreads I did just yesterday. I was like, I need to finish this. I want to film my flip through. It is done. It is finished. I read 6 books, and as you can see, there were highs and lows, and I had my first DNF of the year in December. Statistics are very colorful. Blood Over Bridehaven is absolutely perfect book. I loved it so much. Then I tried to read some sequels so I could finish the series sooner. This is the Dragon Blood series, and I could not anymore with this series, so I DNF'd it. And here we are in my 2023 reading statistics. It is not my style, but I love how it looks. I love these pinks and greens together. It's so comforting and cute. For some overall stats, I read 92 books and DNF'd 1. And I read 19,000 pages and listened to more than 600 hours of audiobooks. And this is what got me intrigued, because I thought I have listened to more audiobooks than I've read books. But it is not true. It is almost the same. I listened to 38 audiobooks and read 37 physical books, which is absolutely mind-boggling. I really thought audiobooks would be way higher. Then my rating is down here, and as you can see, I went completely bollocks with this. I discovered Storygraph few months into the year, and they allow you to do the 0.25 rating, and I just went crazy and used almost every single one. I am not using those that much, but I'm using half points, and I really like using the 4.75 rating, because there are some books that are almost perfect for me, almost, but they are not 5 stars, and they are way better than 4 stars, so I just use 4.75 for those. And my average rating was 3.99, which is awesome. But I have to say, I was way more generous with my rating at the beginning of the year. So we will see what the next year will bring. I had 22 4-star books, which is great, and 12 5-star books, which is absolutely amazing. Main genre is fantasy, of course, and there are 8 entries for sci-fi, manga and classics, which is absolutely great. I am surprised I read 8 classics. I really am, because it turned out I hate them mostly. So this is quite a high for me. For audience, I read mostly adult books, which is okay. I am too old for young adult. I just can't stand them anymore. So 19 is still quite high. And for new adult books. For language, I read mostly in English, but I also read 4 books in Slovak, which is my first language. Next we have books read per month. I did not read much in first few months. In April, I joined my first ever readathon, and I was, of course, overly excited, so I read 18 books. And I read a lot in September as well. Yes, I believe it is a month when I read 6 Spy Family manga volumes, so that's that. Next we have pages read per month. And this includes audiobooks as well. I went through every single audiobook and put down their page numbers as well, so I could do this one. It is interesting. Of course, April is high as well, because I read the most books in April, so they mirror each other. But June, I read almost as many pages. It is the month I have read the most chunkers. I have read The Way of Kings and what was there? June. Yes, The Way of Kings, Sword of Kaigen, Fourth Wing, and Manacled are monstrous books. Monstrous. So that's funny. That's really interesting. And September, again, 4,000 pages because of the 6 manga volumes. Here I have a really small graph where I did the average pages read per day. So I just went through these numbers and divided them by the day in the month. And it is fun. It is absolutely not needed because it just mirrors this one, but I really like it. It is small and cute. Okay, here we have absolutely monstrous pie chart, but we will get to that. Books divided by length. The most books I have read were between 300 and 400 pages, and most of the books were between 100 and 500 pages, with quite few up until 6 pages as well. This is where the chunk territory starts, so 600 and 700 pages. And this is, of course, the Stormlight Archive and Manacled. You can't find the exact number of pages for this one because it is fanfiction, but I found everything from 1,000 pages to 3,000 pages, so I just put it as 1,500. From this is absolutely obvious. I have read lots of novels, 66. Here we have a very not pretty series tracker. I had no idea where to put this one, and there was some space left, so why not? So I have read 34 standalones and 59 books were part of a series. This I find really interesting. I started 26 series in 2023. I have no idea how did I start this many series. And out of those, I finished 6 and DNF'd 11. And I caught up with one, of course, the Stormlight Archive. This monstrosity shows us every year a book was published. And of course, the latest one was from 2023. Oldest one was all the way from 1813. There were lots of books I read from 2023, and I am really surprised by that. 2022 and 2021, lots of books as well. And quite a few from 2020, 2018 and 2014 as well. These spreads, I had no idea how to decorate, and they are a little awkward, but I'll go with that. I don't mind at all. On this page are best stories I engaged with overall. My favorite completed series is Mistborn. Favorite duology is Six of Crows. And favorite standalone is The Sword of Kaigen or Blood over Brighthaven. Depends on the day you ask me. My most read author, of course, is Brandon Sanderson. Then it's Tatsuya Endo. He is the author of the Spy Family manga. And Lee Bardugo I read 5 books from. Here I have a small category for some ... est books. The oldest is from 1813, as I mentioned earlier, and it is Pride and Prejudice. Newest is The Sunlit Man, of course, from September 2023. The longest book is Oathbringer. And the shortest one is short story, of course, The Eleventh Metal by Brandon Sanderson as well. As I was writing down my favorite books and least favorite books, I realized I have too many, so I decided to go with physical books, audiobooks and ebooks separately. So here we have my favorite books I have read physically and my least favorite ones. Same here for audiobooks. And I obviously could not even be bothered to glue it down properly, but that is okay. Yes, Elantris is here. I am sorry, but I did not like the audiobook at all. And if I was ever to read this one again, I would for sure read the physical book. Here we have a section for ebooks, and I only have favorite ones. My biggest surprise of the year is Dress of Emerald Sea. It was my first book I have read by Brandon Sanderson, and I loved it so much. I decided to read more from the author, and I never stopped. And my biggest disappointment is Legends and Lattes. I'm sorry, I think it was way overhyped for me, and it was okay, it was not bad, but it was disappointing for me. I saw something similar in one of the reading journal flip-throughs way back, and I have no idea where I saw this. I chose one book for each of those categories. The book that made me cry was Sword of Kaigen. I admit I cried while reading quite a few books, but with the Sword of Kaigen I cried the most when one of the characters died, and I just could not help myself. The book that made me most angry was Frankenstein because of how the monster was treated. I was so angry the whole time. Blood over Brighthaven made me speechless. If you know, you know. If not, read this one. The Project Hail Mary made me hopeful. I think audiobook for this one is the way to go. Book that made me happy was Warbreaker. I was really enjoying myself listening to this one. And the book that made me read long into the night is If We Were Villains. I just could not put this one down, as well as Blood Over Brighthaven and the Sword of Kaigen, but I wanted to put something else here. Here is the last spread, the best and worst cover. I think it is self-explanatory. Here I have a small section for best and worst characters. Let's start with the worst ones so we end up on a positive note. Okay, so the worst characters for me were Leah and Miri from Our Lives Under the Sea. I just could not stand them. As well as Darrow from Red Rising. I am so sorry, but I cannot stand this man. On the other hand, the best characters are Kaladin from Stormlight Archive, Nona from Book of the Ancestor series, and Rocky from Project Hail Mary. And that is the end of my reading journal. I have few pages left, but that is okay. I sometimes need dotted paper, so I can just go here and cut it out and use it where needed. And that's it. That's my full 2023 reading journal. I will do a quick flip through again to the beginning. I guess I will. Okay, so thanks for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed this. It was like a trip down memory lane. I have read so many great books last year, and fingers crossed 2023 will be as good, or even better, not only for me but also for all of you. Most of these spreads I shared throughout the year in my monthly reading wrap-ups, so if you want to see some of those closer, I will link the playlist down below. And I'd love to know your thoughts on any of those books in my reading journal. If you loved some of this or even absolutely hate it, I'd love to know. Even when you disagree, it is much more interesting. And I know I have quite a few unpopular opinions, so if there are any spreads that jumped out to you, let me know as well. I usually like darker ones more, but as you could see, I did my best to include different colors and themes, even though they did not work out, but I learned a lot during the year. I am not going to lie, creating these spreads takes a lot of time, and I completely understand if some of you find it useless or even stupid. I don't mind at all. Not everyone is able or even wants to do this. This is a way for me to spend more time with the book, to think about it, about characters, about everything I loved or not. I really enjoy the process of writing down my thoughts or sometimes favorite quotes. I should do that more often. I should include more quotes in my reading journal, because it is such a great feeling to read the quote and go back Reading and making art are my favorite hobbies, and I do hope to bring them together in my 2024 reading journal. I'd love to create more painted monthly cover pages, or even do some small doodles or paintings for my favorite books. We will see. Let's just hope 2024 will be more kind to me and to all of you. We are getting to the beginning here. This is my whole reading journal I spent a lot of time with in 2023. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed seeing all these spreads I've made, and I hope this gave you inspiration if you have your own reading journal. And that's it. Here is my reading journal setup video for 2023 if you'd like to see more reading journal action. Thank you so much for being here. Have an absolutely awesome day. See you in the next one. Bye.